Funding for Prepare Yourself has been provided by the Sonoma County Department of Emergency Management. Actions change outcomes. Let's get ready together. Learn more at socoemergency.org/getready.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Prepare Yourself, your one-stop shop and resource hub when it comes to preparing for a disaster or emergency. I'm Hannah Lee, your host for the show.
Thank you, Hannah. And I'm Chase Overholt, your other lovely guide for our program. As my counterpart here just reminded you, this is the place where you can learn about what you can do to
prepare yourself
for whatever emergency you might face. And believe it or not, you might just have a little fun along the way. What could be better than being prepared?
On this episode, we'll be learning all about how to prepare for a flood. We're going to share some information with you in just a few moments, all about what to pack in your flood go bag, how to defend your home against floodwaters, what not to do when you reach a flooded area in your vehicle, and so much more.
This episode will be overflowing with useful information. What? Too soon?
Man, it is always too soon for dad jokes, and they told us not to go off script. We're live, remember? We'll be right back with our show after these messages. Stay tuned.
When it comes to living in the 2020s, it's just disaster after disaster. We've seen wildfires, floods, extreme heat, and earthquakes. But one thing we can do is be prepared for when the next disaster hits. You said it. And speaking of disaster hits, have we got a deal for you?
Now that's what I call Disaster Hits, is 2 hours of chart-topping disaster songs all compiled for you on a 2-CD set. This special TV offer contains 45 tracks of disaster hits you know and love, like Know Your Zone, Oops, I Forgot My Go Bag, Turn Around, Don't Drown.
When you drive up to a puddle, might be deeper than a puddle, so turn your car around and drive away. Or there might be a price you gotta pay. Don't drive through flooded waters, take your parents, sons and daughters, and find a different route to drive that day. Now listen up and follow what I say. Turn around, don't drown, you've got to turn around, don't drown. Turn that car around, find a different way through town. Turn around, don't drown.
Wow! I don't know about you, but I feel more prepared for the next disaster already.
Now that's what I call Disaster Hits is not available in stores. Order now by calling the number on your screen or send check or money order. 2 CDs, $39.99 plus $10.99 shipping and handling. If you pay with credit card, you get a free Disaster Hits cell phone charm. Rush delivery available. Call now.
And now back to The Prepared Bachelor.
Wow. This has been an incredible first week. So many ups and downs. But you all have really shown me so much about yourselves. And knowing that you're here, trying to find a place in my heart, means everything to me.
Going into the rose ceremony, I'm feeling really nervous. I just don't know if Kyle is going to choose me for his go bag. I mean, I know my worth. Double A's are one of the most useful things to have in an emergency, because you never know when something like your flashlight is going to run out of juice.
What did batteries say about me? That I could run out of juice? Excuse me, but I am incredibly reliable. Much more reliable than a phone flashlight, by the way. I'm a classic. I just hope Kyle sees that.
I feel very confident that after the conversations Kyle and I have had this week, he's going to give me a rose. I mean, not to brag, but how could he not? He'll see that he can't live without me.
Water. Water, do you accept this rose?
I do.
I knew I was a shoo-in. I mean, come on. I'm water.
First aid kit. First aid kit. Do you accept this, Rose?
Of course I do. Earlier this week, I really opened up and showed him what's truly inside me. Band-aids, antibiotic ointment, alcohol swabs. So I was really betting on him seeing the value of what I can bring to the table, and it looks like he did.
3-day supply of food. Do you accept this, Rose?
Absolutely.
Radio. Emergency blanket. Resealable baggies. Do you accept this, Rose?
I do.
Now, you would be critical if there was a flood.
Thanks. I know.
I'm feeling anxious and confused. Doesn't Kyle see that sparks fly between us? Why hasn't he chosen me yet?
I don't understand why I'm still here, being picked last. It really hurts, you know? It hurts that he doesn't seem to realize what a light I could be in his life and in his go bag.
Flashlight. Flashlight? Do you accept this, Rose?
Yes, of course I do. Thank you.
And now, the final rose of the night. Batteries. Batteries? Do you accept this, Rose?
Oh, yes, of course.
Now, for those of you who did not receive a rose tonight, please take the time. This would be your moment to say your goodbyes.
I've just given up so much in my life to be here, and I wanted to be here so much, but I guess I can go home now and start over with a clean slate.
I wish. Could somebody grab me something to wipe my eyes with? Thank you.
Stunning advances in film technology now allow us to eavesdrop on our wild neighbors.
Flowers are tasty!
This is the astonishing world of water. The wood rat is an industrious denizen of the oak woodland.
Water everywhere is so beautiful. We all need it in so many ways.
At a creek nearby, Raccoon has a keen appreciation for H2O.
This gorgeous 2023 Russian River blend has a surprisingly refreshing mouthfeel with a fruit-forward body and notes of gravel, fresh leaves, and what is that? And tadpole at the finish. Yes, tadpole.
Woodrat is always cautious because predators, like wolf, are never far away.
Some things are pretty scary. scary. Once in a while, though, rising water can be something to worry about. When that happens, it's good to be prepared.
With an extraordinary ability to find and protect a cozy den, Raccoon is prepared, even during storm events.
Whenever rising water might interrupt an evening of entertaining guests in my burrow, I find that sandbags are the way to stave off the unthinkable water intrusion into my home. Sandbags can divert the water away, and they can be picked up for free at stations in your county. I bring my own shovel and always insist on filling my own bags. Thank you very much.
With a little preparation, everyone can be ready for the next time flooding might happen.
Even the smallest of our animal friends make the effort to plan ahead. None of us knows what challenges our flooding future holds.
Remember to prepare yourself.
And now, a word from the community.
You don't have to prepare yourself all at once. Break it up into different spaces. Maybe break it up into 2 months worth of time, and set a goal for every 2 weeks to set one thing ready for your go bag. It doesn't have to be something so stressful. You can even go to the dollar store. It doesn't have to be costly, but just prepping yourself and taking those steps to get prepared will save you it'll save you, it could save your life. Now, all you loyal viewers out there know that on the show we like to keep things light and fun and memorable, but there are always real-life consequences to any disaster.
And on that note, coming up next is a very important part of our show, One Piece of Advice. This is when we get to chat with someone about one piece of advice they would give from their experience living through a disaster or emergency. And now we are so lucky to have a special guest here with us, Lupe Catalan. Welcome, Lupe.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Chase, for having me here.
Well, thank you for lending your time to have this really important conversation with us about what individuals in areas that are going to be affected and have been affected by natural disasters can do to prepare themselves better, and shed a light on what your experience has led you to.
Thank you. I think after my experience, after the 2017 fires that we had, as you all know, were devastating for a lot of people. And personally, I think I didn't have a lot of knowledge on the things that I needed to do to prepare myself and my family.
Was there a defining moment or something that you saw where you said, this is my call to action?
Yes, just seeing like the trees falling down, mudslides, driving, seeing the Russian River, how I was getting to that flooding stage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, me driving, it was giving me that anxiety. And I was like, how can people in this community, how can they live like this? The families that I was working with are primarily Spanish speaking. So one thing that I kept hearing from them was pretty much like the lack of resources in their own language, like Spanish. And hearing from these families about, the need, especially when they had the flooding in 2019, that they had no one to talk to. Just knowing that I was there, being bilingual, and that I had to, in a way, find those resources for them, it was crucial for me, because I could see and I could notice the anxiety that the storms were causing.
So, if you had one piece of advice to give somebody that might be in an area that could be affected by natural disaster, flood, wildfire, what would that piece of advice be?
Definitely get to know your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Get to know who's next to you. Find out if you're going to be able to reach out to them in a moment of emergency. And like I said, it could be only maybe 2-3 people around you, but just knowing who they are. Are you going to be able to call out to them if you need to, help with your children, help with animals, documents, anything? It's important that, once again, that we communicate with each other, and the most important, those that are close to us.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, you help me, I help you. And if you're my neighbor, I want to make sure that I'm going to be there for you.
Beautiful. Well, Lupe, I want to thank you so much for being here. It was incredibly powerful to hear about the work that you're doing and the stories that you've shared. We will be right back after these messages.
It's finally getting warmer out. Looks like summer's almost here. It'll be so nice to enjoy the sun. Except it'll probably get into the hundreds, and it gets hotter and hotter every year due to climate change. Man, it was so hot last year. I really hope we don't have another heat wave this season because I don't have air conditioning. And that reminds me, I should really get a new air purifier and pack my go bag just in case I have to evacuate. And whoa, I should really get going. Wow, everything's so green this time of year. It's so nice. But now that it's getting warmer out, all that vegetation's going to dry up, meaning it'll all become fuel for wildfires to start and spread faster and faster. There'll be so much smoke and evacuations. People could lose their homes or get hurt, and is that a gust of wind? Okay, take a deep breath. Let's listen to some music instead. Is it starting to rain? It's a good thing I packed my umbrella. We need all the rain we can get anyways, since we've been in a drought for so long. But when it rains so much all at once, especially after a drought, the ground is too dry to really absorb all the water, and then there's a big chance of flooding, especially in flood zones like near a river, and it could cause a ton of damage to the communities there. All those families and homes.
Did that seem familiar to you? Do you find your thoughts spiraling out of control when you think about climate change or weather-related disasters? It can be stressful just to hear someone else's thoughts. It is understandable to get distressed when you think about climate change and disaster, especially if you've lived through emergencies or evacuations, or if you live in a high-risk area. There are some tools that you can use to help yourself if you're triggered by climate-related stress. The young person we saw did a great thing for herself by listening to music to stop her thoughts from spiraling out of control. You can use rhythm to calm your body and mind by petting a cat or dog, or going outside to exercise. If you're worrying about climate change and disaster, it can be really helpful to talk about your feelings. Find a trusted friend or a climate-aware therapist, or look for a free support group like online climate cafes. Many people are turning climate anxiety into empowering action by connecting with like-minded community. People all over the Bay Area are doing amazing things to stand up for climate justice. What's your passion? You can find someone around here who shares it.
And now, another word from the community.
It's important for kids to learn the safety of like earthquakes and fires. So when they're ever in that situation, or if they're in this situation, then they know what to do.
Hi, I'm Kiki, and this is Plan Ahead with me, Kid Scientist. You might have noticed that this year it's been raining a lot. As our planet keeps getting warmer, our climate is changing, and that means we're seeing more extreme types of weather. Hotter, drier summers and colder, wetter winters. And you guessed it, we just had a very wet and rainy winter. And when there's a lot of rain, especially in a short period of time, there's more chance that we'll have floods. So what can we do about that? Well, that's where I can help out. Let me show you how we can plan ahead before a flood. Number 1, make sure you know the types of flood risk in your area. For example, if you live near a river, make sure to monitor the weather when there is a heavy rain on the way. Number 2, make sure you have a personal go bag, packed and ready to go, in case you have to leave in an emergency. Make sure it's got plenty of food, water, medical supplies, and especially things like batteries and charging devices for your phone, in case the power goes out, like this external battery. Number 3, make sure you have flood insurance, especially if you live in a high flood risk area. Psst, Mom, come here. Do we have flood insurance?
We do.
Oh, good. Good job on being prepared, Mom. Now I know where I get it from. Number 4, make sure you store any valuable documents in waterproof containers or resealable bags. I made sure to put my favorite books in a resealable bag because I do not want them to get wet. But for all you grown-ups out there, you might need to store your social security cards, insurance policies, and important medical documents in a waterproof container. How exciting for you! Well, that's all the time we have for today, everyone. And remember, it's always better to be prepared for anything and to have nothing bad happen than to have something bad happen and not be prepared at all. Tune in next time for more advice from a small child on Plan Ahead with Ken Scientist. That's me! I do good? Yeah! Yay!
We now return to As the Waters Rise.
What's wrong, my love?
Oh, John, the weather report says that the storm will only get worse. There's risks of flooding and there's roads being closed. We really need to do something.
Oh, my dearest Martha, all we need is right here, together, in each other's arms. The rest of the world hardly matters.
Well, yes, but John,
You know we don't have flood insurance. What will he do if the waters rise into the house?
Oh, my darling, our love for one another will keep us safe.
Yes, I suppose it might, but will it protect our important documents? The ones that you keep forgetting to put in a waterproof container?
Yes?
But John, my sister called and she said we really ought to get to higher ground.
Your sister?
Yes, my sister.
But you don't have a sister.
Oh, did I say sister? I meant my twin brother's cousin's nephew.
Twin brother, cousin's nephew? I can't take these lies. What else are you not telling me?
Oh, it doesn't matter, my dear. We must get out of here.
I can't. I can't go. I won't go.
Okay, whatever. I'm out of here. Come on, Portia. Come on, girl.
Wait. Don't take Portia! Martha, no! No, Portia, no! No! Martha!
Will Martha ever return? Will John ever be ready for the flood? Tune in next time for As the Waters Rise.
And we're back. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Prepare Yourself. And we hope you tune in next time to learn more about how you can prepare for a disaster or an emergency.
Before we sign off, let's quickly go over what we learned about preparing for a flood. We learned all about the kinds of things you should pack in an emergency go bag.
We learned about storing valuables and important documents in waterproof containers to avoid water damage.
And we heard from the public about why they think it's important to be prepared.
Plus, don't forget those sweet disaster tunes. Turn around, don't drown. Turn around, don't drown. So catchy. You know, Hannah, I really feel like I learned a lot. How about you?
Yeah, I do too. Honestly, I think I'm gonna go home after this and start packing my go bag, because we've been having a lot of rain these days and I wanna be prepared.
Well, I think that's a great idea. So I'm definitely not going to rain on your parade.
Well, folks, that's all the time we have for now, but we hope to see you next time. And remember,
prepare yourself!